Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching from. Happy Tuesday. I hope your week is going okay. Today, we are starting, and in fact, we are doing another session today. And this session we're doing today is quite, I don't know, it's quite tricky, Nelly. It's something that many people don't want to talk about it. You may be a victim, I might be a victim, and you say, I don't want to talk about it because I'm so embarrassed. But hey, we need to talk about it. I'm going to be sharing my own experience as well in this whole matter. So anyway, thank you so much for joining. And like anybody who is joining, if you can just start, comment and all of that, so that it can be an engagement. If you've had an experience, share your experience. We'll be glad to know. Anyway, for anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Peggy Barren. I am the founder of Arise and Thrive Academy. I'll pass it to Nelly to introduce herself, and then we can introduce the topic, and then we begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session. My name is Nelly Kwasinwi. I'm a social worker, transformational life coach, and founding director for Hand in Hand Community CIC. Over to you, Peggy.
Okay, so today we are talking about a sensitive topic, a topic that can be as well embarrassing to talk about, and it's about protecting yourself from romance scam. We have heard a lot. I don't know whether you've heard about romance scam, but there is statistics out there that it is actually a problem. It's a massive problem. And, I'll just read a little bit of the statistics that we know, right? And this is something that you yourself, you can go on, you can Google it. They say romance scam it's a highly lucrative business, right? And it's emotionally devastating for so many people, especially single parents. And we know statistics shows that, over a year or annually in the UK, for example, there is over 102 million pounds that is being taken from victims, through romance scam. And in the US, it's actually hundreds of millions. And there is a statistics as well that came out, I think, in April 2025 by Barclays Bank. The statistics shows that there was about 20% increase in romance scam, and that is year on every year that percentage goes up. And then there's another statistics. It was talking about women versus men. Like they say, the statistics was saying that romance scam, actually it goes between the age bracket of between 40 and 66 years of age. People who are between 40 and 66 are most frequently targeted. And then people who are at the age 55 to 64 are highly susceptible. So the scammers, they know very well. They do their research, and then when they come, they hit hard. And like I say, it's something that many people are so ashamed to talk about it. So that is just a few of the statistics. And there's another statistics actually done by cyber helpline. They say nearly 87% of romance fraud are not reported. That victims don't report it. 87%. That means majority of people who are scammed, they don't report it. Again, why? Because maybe of the embarrassment and of the fear of judgment and all of that. So you can see that the statistics that we're talking about is even underreported. So yeah, I don't know, Nelly, whether I have anything to say, and then maybe we can go into, first of all, defining what is romance scam, because maybe some people
Yeah,
may not know.
yeah, with that statistics, it's really, really true because it is really underreported. Because when you have conversations, you hear a lot of people talk about they've been scammed, but then they've not reported. Like you said, shame is a big factor. Because looking at yourself, like, okay, let's say myself, for instance, if I speak to someone close to me, I will end there. It's not
Yeah,
something that I'll be talking to, like broadcasting it, because first, it's an embarrassment. It's a shame to me that how did I let myself to get into a scam? Did I not notice the red flags? What happened? All those questions, that brings a lot of shame. So then
yeah,
people do not talk about it openly. They can confide in one or two persons, but then
yeah,
they just let it go. So we
Yeah.
today we are talking so we understand what it is. And again, knowing that as single parents, whether you're a single mom or a single dad, what are
Mhm.
the vulnerabilities, what can let you get into such scams, what to watch out for.
Yeah. And interesting enough, Nelly, there's one statistics actually say that men are highly susceptible to scam. In fact, the percentage shows that more men are scammed than women. But the
Oh,
only difference is that the difference now they said is that, what is that statistic? Okay. They say they were talking about the men versus women group. They say men are statistically slightly more likely to fall victim to romance scam, representing 52% to 59% reported cases. However, female victims are targeted for higher average losses. So the money when a perpetrator, a male perpetrator, targets a female perpetrator, the money that they get is more higher, even though male are being targeted more. Women target men, the men more. So it's an area where it is both ways, whether a single dad or a single mom or we are all victims. Everybody can be a victim. So first of all, let's define what is romance scam. So a romance scam actually happens when somebody creates a fake identity, right? And then they pretend to be interested in a romantic relationship. And they do that to gain trust. And eventually they steal money, personal information, or even both. So that is it. And this scam can happen through dating app. In fact, one of the sources now where it happens is through dating app. A lot of them hide in dating apps looking for relationship when they are actually looking for victims. It happens on Facebook and social media. It happens on messaging apps. It happens on email and even online gaming communities, like people where people join, do group gaming. It happens on there like that. And scammers will often spend weeks or months building an emotional connection before actually asking for something. They're not joke. And I said earlier before that I'm going to share my own experience because it happened to me. Even though I've discussed it with a few of my network, but it's something that you always feel like embarrassed to talk about it because you're thinking that how are people going to be thinking. Were you not thinking? Were you not seeing the red flags? Come on, I'm a domestic abuse survivor. Red flags should be something that will just be screaming in my face. But I tell you, they're very tactical. So this scammer actually came to me as a business partner, right? Through a LinkedIn network that we had. We had a LinkedIn networking a session, and then in that type of thing, you people share contacts, right? He presented himself to me as a business person, right? And then me myself, I was also looking like to connect with business people who are business owners, and then that is how it started. From business, we started talking about business, and then he kind of like he wanted me to share what I was doing. I explained to him what I was doing, all the stuff I do. And then of course he told me what he does, the country he's traveled. He portrayed himself like a real business person. And of course, he was on LinkedIn. I went on his profile on LinkedIn. I saw his LinkedIn profile. He looked like a genuine business person. And then that's when we started talking from business conversation. And he was kind of, that sort of thing when you think you're thinking of, okay, I've got this problem to solve as a business person. How do I? He will actually suggest to me, have you thought of doing it this way? Have you thought of doing that way? And all of that, which were all good. And then that is how he started it, slowly building that trust. So I trusted him. I started trusting him now as a business person or as a business support somebody or whatever, right? And then from there, after a few months, after he knew that I had built that relationship, I was trusting him because I started messaging him like, frequently for some stuff that I need and what I need, like, and he would tell me. And then from there, it now navigated now to more of an emotional feeling. Then he moved now like, oh, by the way, I can see you. You've got, I love your entrepreneurial mindset. I love your determination. I love your hard work. I admire this. I admire women who have this and women who, which are all good, which are like accurate. Like somebody will be telling you those nice things and you're thinking, okay, this person. And then that's where he started. Now, have you thought of, are you single? Do you want to go into a relationship? And then that's how we started communicating. Okay. And over a time, over months, I'm talking about 6 months, right? He was building that trust. He kept going on, until one day he now said to me that he was going for a business trip in Turkey. Okay. And the thing is that I was keeping tabs because there were days when we used to talk and I would say, you know what, can you do a video call so I can see you? And he actually did a video call. I saw him most of the time. Like I would do a video call. I would see him. He would like be busy. He's at work or sometimes he's at home. He's come back. He wants to make his breakfast. He wants to make, that sort of thing. And then it came now a day. He said he was traveling to Turkey, okay, for a business trip. I said, okay. And then I was like, okay, keep me posted how things goes. And then the next thing, he goes into, he is in Turkey. He's got a contract with the Turkish government on mining or something, because I think he works in a mine or something, right? He's got a contract. And then he goes to Turkey. And then the next thing I'm hearing is that something happened in Turkey and he's been arrested. Okay, that's when the things now, the money bit starts to come in. He's been arrested, and his agent, who is in Turkey, has actually given some money because the Turkish government, because he's an American citizen, the Turkish are skeptical of American citizens. They've arrested him to show proof of all whatnot and all whatnot. And then his business agent in Turkey has actually given some money, and they're trying to resolve it, but the money is not enough. So he needs more money. And that is when, and the way he narrated it in a very, the story was so believable. In fact, it was the way he presented it, right? And then, okay, I said, okay. And then he was like, we need to act fast. Please let me help him. When he comes out, he'll give me back the money, he And then I said, like, how much, and then he started off, okay, maybe the agent is asking for, I think at the time he said $2,000. The agent is asking for $2,000 and all of that. Please, this, you know me. I've known you for so many months. Trust me, I'll give you back that money. Please. I gave the $2,000. Okay. I gave the $2,000. And then hopefully I thought maybe that will end the situation, solve the problem. After 2 days, the Turkish government, they said the money is not enough. They're threatening to take him now to a different secure unit or whatever thing. And he needs, I said, okay, what do they need? And then he said they need about $1,800 more and all of that. And I still sent it. So you can see, so it is after that second transaction that I was like, hang on, something is not adding up here. And then the thing that actually made me is because after I sent that $1,800, which is the second time, and then the next day he's asking me, he said, since morning he hasn't eaten anything, they haven't given him food, he's so hungry. Let me send him money to go and buy food. I was like, come on, something is not right here. Even if you're in prison, even if they lock you up, would they not feed you? Would they not give you food at least? So that is where I started piecing. I was like, okay, let me just retrace. Okay, this is a business person. We've been talking, and all of that. But things are not adding up here. And then that is when I started, okay. And then when he now was going down the line of another money, I said to him, I said, can you give me your passport? If you send me a copy of your passport before I can sort out any help, or if I were to help you. He said, no, he doesn't. He cannot give me his passport and all of that. I said, why? Give me your passport. Let me see a copy of your passport, And that is where, when I started asking those questions, like banging questions, like, if you don't give me this information and all of that, that is when now he started withdrawing. And then eventually, when those messages were coming, and then he would be mixing it, don't you love me anymore? I love you. When you come out, I'll give you the money and all of that. And then that's when I said, no, the communication just ended like that, you know. So that type of thing, you're thinking, you sit back and like, you cannot go to your bank to go and say, you know what, let bank give you back your money, because it's something that you genuinely remove it from your account and you transfer it to this person. You consented to it, you know, and you cannot go back and ask your bank, you know, when the money has already gone, you know. So these are some of the things that, but the surprising thing is that even with the person now, after 2 years, I went back on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and I communicated with him, and I pinned him down. I said, you know what, you owe me $3,500. If you don't give me back that money, I'm going to expose you. I'm going to expose you. And then that's when now he started, he said, no, what, let me give him some time. He's sorry, he's going to give me back the money. Up to now, I'm still chasing that money and I'm going to get him. But I know his LinkedIn, I know he's on LinkedIn, I know his profile. But many people are not fortunate, you know. Some of them will make like that and disappear into the thin air. So that is just my own story. And when I speak to so many women, there are a lot of women that have lost thousands and thousands of pounds, but yet people are ashamed to talk about it, because you're thinking, how did it happen to me? It can happen to anybody just like that, even without you knowing. Yeah. So anyway, that was just my little experience. So I don't know, Nelly, whether I have anything to say, and then we can go into start looking into some of the emotional, the tactics, some of the red
Yeah,
flags.
Pella, there is, I mean, these people, they study, they spend time studying
Mhm.
because they know that emotions, if they get you emotionally, they've got
Yeah.
you. So, a couple of years ago, I had an experience where this person had made a friend request on
Hmm.
Facebook for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I was seeing it, but I'm like, I don't know you on Facebook. We don't have any connection. But then
Hmm.
from time to time, he would send me, how are you doing? And I would just ignore it because I couldn't see a lot of information about him. He doesn't post on, he was not posting on Facebook, and we didn't
Hmm.
have any mutual friends. But then he would send like every month, he would send like a message asking, how are you doing? And he was consistent for a couple of years.
Hmm.
So then one time I was like, but who is this person? If I don't ask to know this person, because I was not replying to his messages. So one
Hmm.
day I just decided, well, let me just talk to this, let me accept this person, because I looked at the messages and there were just so many. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
who is this person? Anyway, I accepted the request, and
Hmm.
then I sent him a message. I was asking, why have you been sending me messages for all this while? And he was like, no, I just want us to connect and da 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 da. So it was very mutual from the beginning. And then it took
Hmm.
some time, like you go through that stage where you explore, who are you? What are you doing? Where are you from? And we were talking. He identified himself as from the northwest of Cameroon, and though from the Momo division side. And we were just talking, and like those kind of experiences where you can only understand if you've grown up with people from that area.
Yes.
For instance, like playing tekam, that kind of
Yes.
thing. So
Yes.
those are the kind of conversations we were having, and for me, they were real conversations, and those kind of conversations that I haven't had for a long time, because I used
Yes.
to be that kind of a person who enjoyed playing, and even till now, I enjoy playing. So it got us going and going, and we were talking in the morning, in the evening. It was, and then bit by bit, and then now the romance side came in after a long time.
Yeah.
And he was like, he started that, the like approaching that, would you want to go on a date with myself and things like that. And I'm like, I need to consider, because at the moment I didn't want to get into a relationship. But then when
Hmm.
I thought of it, that, oh, but this one, it's been going for quite a while, I was like,
Hmm.
okay, let me give it a go.
Hmm.
So I accepted. And then after a while, he said he was doing off, is it onshore or offshore?
Onshore.
So he was going onshore. So while he went onshore, he said, we could not do face to face because they are not allowed while they are at work to do video calls. So we can do messages and voice notes and things like that, which was still constant every day. So it got now to a point, he said he would be, he talked about his roots and all whatnot, and he said he would be he'll be going off, no, on, is it offshore for
Offshore.
a offshore, so he'll come out from the water, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so he like gave his program and it sounded very genuine that that
Yeah.
was a program, but then he was like, I've got into a problem. And he said he needed money for, I can't even remember whatever he said. I can't remember what he said he needed the money for, but it was urgent. And he was like, I said, okay, send me your details and I'll send you the money. He said I couldn't send the money to him directly because
Yeah.
he has an agent and he'll give me the details of the agent. And
Yeah.
he gave me, and I sent it the first time. And then after a couple of weeks or days, I
Hmm.
think a couple of weeks, he came up to say, oh, things did not work out well. They're still requesting for some money. And at this time, I was like, hold on, something doesn't seem right here, but what is it that doesn't seem right? But at that time, I was emotionally connected.
Yes.
So then I was seeing everything as like, oh no, it could be sorted.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
I spoke to a friend of mine. I said, this is it. And my friend told me, can't you see it's a scam? I'm
Yeah.
like, but probably it can be just one situation for me to help.
Hmm.
And I still send the money the second time. And when I told my friend, even till today, she's like, Nelly, you're so stubborn. So then when I sent the money the second time, what really annoyed me was as I sent the money, I didn't even receive a thank you. And then that was when it clicked that truly that's a scammer.
Yeah.
So then the messages that we had sent, I took screenshots of the communication, but
Hmm.
then he deleted because at the time you could delete on Messenger and it would delete from both sides.
Yes.
So he
Yes.
deleted and then I blocked him. The agent that he said I sent the money to, I called him and I was like, you scammer. Da, 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 da. And, then, and then I was, oh yeah. So what happened was he talked about having a child that
Oh, Nelly, maybe this same person, the name is it Berinu something.
no, this
There's
one
another
was
one. The way you're narrating, there's another one that is exactly the same narration. Offshore, onshore, child in Cameroon, they cannot pay the child school fees. They've driven the child from school. The child needs school fees. Is that my goodness me? So you could see that they're really on
no, this
Facebook.
one, he said his name was Mba. So that's why I knew that it's from Momo Division, from Batibo.
Yeah,
But anyway, so when I noticed that, I rang the numbers because you can imagine I had many different numbers that he told me if I want to find out any information, I can ring this number, ring that number.
yeah,
So then I rang all the numbers, and what I finally did was I rang MTN Cameroon and I
yeah,
gave all the numbers. But again, Cameroon being what Cameroon is, I don't know what they did, and I didn't even because there was no. I sent emails, I rang them, but they'll be like,
yeah,
"Oh, this person, that person." So I was like, you know what, it's gone. I'll not get it, but it'll still come
yeah,
back to me in another form. So
yeah.
yeah, but then
So yeah,
looking at it, the red flags are always there, but
yes,
you know, because they do so much to hook you emotionally, you just get there.
yeah. Absolutely. And that is the emotional bit that many people are falling victim, because when
Yeah.
they start, they don't just start like that. They build it gradually. Build it gradually, you know. And like I said, that there are lots of them on Facebook. Lots of them on Facebook. And then they've got a narrative that all of them are using. That's why when you were talking about this offshore onshore thing, one of my friends actually fell in the hands of one of these offshore onshore, to the point where she had to even send money to this person's son in Cameroon, because my friend even spoke to the son, and the son said, "Yes,
The same.
auntie, yes,
Yeah.
auntie, they've driven me from school fees. Grandma is sick. The money that they gave grandma to go pay the school fees, grandma was sick, and grandma used the money. I'm at home. I cannot go to school. Please help me." And my friend sent that boy's school fee, send it directly to that child. Okay, so they've got a coordinated,
You
they've
know,
got a yeah,
I spoke with the supposed child. Mm?
yes,
I spoke with the child, but then, oh God. But then when we got to a point of our conversation, something was not right,
yes,
because the child's voice could not maintain the child's voice.
yes,
So, you know, when you're talking with someone and the voice keeps changing, and sometimes an adult voice slips into the conversation. And I was like,
yes,
hang on, I don't think this is a child. Because how can a child start off speaking as a child, and then from
mhm.
time to time you hear an adult voice in that conversation from the same child? And I was like,
It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. So it
no.
is it is real. It is real. And a lot of women, a lot of people, not just women, a lot of people, single parents, are falling victim every day, to this scam. So we're going to be looking at some common warning signs, which of course Nelly and I, from our experiences, of course, we've already highlighted some of the warning signs, which the warning signs sometimes will be there. But when you're emotionally hooked, you're thinking of the emotions, that romance bit that they've already built, that romance bit, are you thinking that, oh no, maybe it's just a usual problem, but that is the tactic that they're using. So the first warning sign is that
I
they
think
move the
just hold on. We have some
yeah,
comments here. We have a comment
okay,
from Rose Favor. She says,
yeah.
"Your story is touching. You will get your money back." And then, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you, i'm
I
still i'm
agree,
still
because I
chasing. They
mean
must give back that my money. The-
the money would
yeah,
come back in a way.
yeah,
Because thank you,
yeah,
Rosa, for sharing that. Rose, you know what I say is, if you fraud me of my hard-earned money, I will suffer for a bit,
yeah,
because that money is not there, but it will come back eventually. And you,
yeah.
who is the scammer, you will suffer. You will
Absolutely.
suffer.
And one thing I told the scammer, I told this supposedly business guy, I told him that the first thing I did is that and the thing is, they're very smart. When they know you, when they come to your life, they want to know everything about you, and then they're going to be using that same information to be telling you what you want to hear, right?
Yeah,
So I said to him, I said, my prayers, the prayers that I pray every day is not going to go in vain. So you better return that money. And I screenshot. Luckily for me, I had a screenshot of the transaction and all of that. And I sent the screenshot to him. I said, I've got the screenshot. If you don't give me that money, I'm going to take it further. I'm going to take it further. I'm going to report you. So anyway, I'm just hoping that he gives back my money. But again, like I say, that is the thing that many people fall victim of. And if in case most of them you don't even trace them, you cannot trace them. They just go into the
yeah,
thin air, just like
yeah.
that. So some
You
of the
know,
common,
just
yeah,
before we move to the next question, you know, there's
mhm,
something that I know is big business now,
mhm,
but I'm seeing, to me, it is romance scam. You know, all these
yes,
programs that you have, whether they call them, I don't even watch them, so I don't know what the programs are. You have some love at first sight and things like that.
yes,
To me, that's big business, and
yes,
they are all romance scam.
yeah,
Because who are you to determine compatibility between people, because it could be my bias, but I've said I would never go on them kind of shows because
Yeah.
from what I know, what I've learned,
Mm-hmm.
romance is built gradually over time.
Yeah.
And then you look at something like first sight, love at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? You go and you register for something, and you see people go there, they are invested emotionally, and then they
Yes.
end up heartbroken, and then they
Yeah.
make general statements. That's a big industry. That's a big
It is.
industry.
It is a massive industry. It's a multi-million industry. Just like I was talking about the statistics. Statistics shows that in the UK alone annually, 102 million pounds that people are losing. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
massive business, Nelly. And
It
the
is.
thing is that we parents, especially single parents, they need to be ahead of the game. And the reason why they target, statistics also show that they're targeting a lot of single parents. And the reason why they target single parents, because one, they know that single parents are looking for companionship, or even singles,
Yeah.
they're looking for companionship. And they're targeting them because single parents have limited time to verify information, right? Because if somebody comes to you and then they start telling you about love and then telling you about this and then giving you some promises, and then you will just be drawn into what they're saying. You may not even have that time. You've got children to look after, you've got this. You may not have that time to really sit down and do research on them. So that's why they are targeting single parents. And then they feel they may appreciate emotional support, because they know that sometimes some single parents just want that emotional support. Some of them don't even want the money, like they don't want the money from the whoever is they're talking to. They just want that emotional support, that companionship, knowing that, oh, like, I can talk to somebody can reassure me, comfort me emotionally, that sort of thing. So they know that single parents are, they're looking for that bare minimum. They don't want to even, some of them don't even want to look into the finances, like, I want him to help me financially. No, they just want that emotional support. So they are a soft spot. They are a soft target. And then
And
they are also targeting single parents because single parents are focused on caring for others and may overlook the red flags, right? When you're a mom, when you're a parent, already in your head, you have that parenting mindset. You know that you're loving and all of that. So you're only thinking about somebody that can, be there for you, support you, kind of. So you will not even take that time to say, hang on, let me just go and do a deeper research to find out about this person. So this is why single parents are being targeted the most. Single fathers are targeted even higher, because they know that fathers, most of them will kind of struggle with certain things. Some of them are amazing. I'm not saying single father, some of them do an amazing job. But these female perpetrators, they know that single fathers would be wanting somebody to help them along that journey of parenting that child. So that's why you see most of them fall victims. And statistics is saying that single fathers actually fall prey more to even single mom, single mothers. So these are some of the reasons why they are targeted, and the earlier we start knowing about these things, the better. Yeah, Nelly wanted to say something.
yeah, I'm saying that when we're talking about single parents or single parents being targeted, it's not like some married people are not there, because there are some married people who are single.
Yes.
Those who
Yeah.
are in relationships or in marriages, but they are just there physically, but emotionally,
Yes.
psychologically, they are alone. Those
Yeah.
two fall within the bracket because they are vulnerable in a way. And
Yeah.
imagine if you are a single parent and you have gone through a lot being a single parent. You know
Mhm.
that first, there's a lot of stereotype in our communities when you are single, because you
Yeah.
are being accused of choosing to be single without even knowing the conditions that made you to be single. So
Yeah.
then you are being rejected. Then imagine you
Yeah.
find someone who is praising you, looking at the positives in you, trying to
Yeah.
bring out the good aspects of you. in a way, that person, or you feel like that person is lifting you up because you've gone for such a long time. You haven't been
Mm.
praised, you haven't been validated. So then, when you see such a situation, you find or you think that, oh, this is the right person for me. And again, they use these tactics, these scammers use the tactics of, oh, we have so much in common, we are meant to be soulmates, we are twin flames, we are,
Yeah.
because they know they have studied the language.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is why I always say that we should not, anyway, we're going to look at some red flag, and we're going to be looking at some precaution that we need to take. So some of the warning signs is that they will usually move the relationship very fast, which is a common warning sign in any relationship anyway. If you see somebody that will want to move things quickly, just like Nelly say, they will say things like, "Oh, I've never felt this way before. Oh my God, where have you been all these years?" And you are my soulmate. I love you. All those nice languages to hook. They're like hook. They just want to hook you in, and then before gradually you start seeing the true picture or the true personality of who they are. Another warning sign is they avoid video calls or in-person meetings. That's another one. Most of these scammers, they will avoid video calls. When you want to call them, they will make excuses, just like the offshore onshore thing that Nelly was talking about. And it's the same thing that was happening with that my friend. Every time she wants to call this guy will say, "I'm on duty, I'm on onshore, I'm in the ship, we're not allowed to pick calls," and all of that. They will always give excuses. Maybe their camera is broken, or they're working overseas, or they're in military deployment, or they have poor internet connection. So they will always find a reason not to make that video call or not to meet you in person. Some of them will even arrange them to meet them face to face, but last minute they'll cancel it. One of my friend was telling me how she drove. They had a date, right? They had been communicating, everything was smooth until the day that they had made arrangement that they'll meet in Manchester in a particular location at a particular time, and that was on Valentine's Day, right? And this friend I'm talking about is a business person. It's more like, it's not like a normal. He is a reputable lady in the community. She runs multiple businesses, right? And you can tell that how love can bring you down, like reduce you to nothing, right? She drove from here to Manchester, got to the place where they were meant to meet, sat there alone. This guy did not turn up. And when she called the guy said, "Oh no, he's on his way coming." 2 hours later, 4 hours later, no show. This girl sat there and drove and came back, right? So this guy did not show up because he did not want this girl to meet him face to face. He was comfortable behind the scene. So again, that is another massive, massive red flag. Another one is that they will tell their story will not add up. And this is why I say sometimes as parents, or as we need to be alert. I know sometimes as parents, we're busy with the children, running around the children and all of that. But when it comes to sit sometime and reflect, really reflect, try and add up, go back. You can replay the conversation that you've been having with that person and really see whether does it really add up. Pay attention to inconsistencies about their job. When they're talking, jot out keynotes, their location, where they told you about it, their family members, travel plans, all of these things. Pay attention on all of these things, because sometimes you will find if they are scammers, you find that this information will be inconsistent. They'll tell you one thing and then the next minute they'll say another because they've forgotten that they lied, and they'll need to look for another lie to add up to back up the first lie. So if you're smart, you catch them very quickly. So Nelly, I've got a few more. I don't know if you have some on your list.
Yeah, so what they'll do is they're always the victims. They'll tell you how either they are victims from their parents or from their partners or from their
Yeah.
children or from work, but they'll always, always be the victims. And you might, I mean, like a parent, you might
Mhm.
want to, knowing that you want to get into a relationship, you might want to bring the positive aspects of it, but they're always looking at the negative side of it. They're
Yes.
poor me, they did this to me, it's always me, that kind of story. And then
Yes.
they will talk about money, how they struggle, they have been
Mhm.
paying. If that those who say they have children, they'll tell you how they've been paying for the children and not even seeing the children. They are
The
not
child.
allowed to see the children.
Yeah. 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 I've heard those,
And
most of
things like
those,
that.
yeah, those stories.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So the money bit, where they ask for money, they will say this is one of the biggest. After they had groomed you, after they had enticed you, build their trust, then that is where now they step in to ask for money. And they will
yeah.
ask you money, not just because like give me money. They will create a scenario, right? They'll ask you money for medical emergencies. Oh, my mom, my sister, my this, my child, my dad. They'll create that scenario, and they'll create it in a such a way that you as a parent with a loving heart, you feel for it. You feel for it. And then they will like travel expenses. They'll say, you know what, I traveled somewhere, I'm stuck somewhere, and all those type of this. What about business problem? Like that, my own that duped me, it was business. He said he went to Turkey for a business trip, and that is how he squeezed $3,800 out of me because of that business trip. So they'll always bring something out of it. Some of them unexpected bills, right? And then gift or gift cards. They will just like, squeeze out something. They'll have a different sweet ways that they can take that money off you in order, because they have studied you. They have studied you. And then one thing that they know is that when they know you very well, especially know your values, they will use even those your values against you. Because mine, when I was talking with mine, he knew that I'm somebody that is very biblical. I'm very biblical. And then he will use scriptures. When you get up in the morning, he will quote a scripture, he'll quote a scripture, and then that scripture will follow with a love line. And then there was one time, every before I wake up in the morning, first thing, he knows that when I wake up in the morning, I do my prayer. So when he knows that when I wake up in the morning and I open my eye, I see that scripture, he has sent me a scripture, and then he'll send that love line. And they'll be thinking, oh, this person is so loving. This person, this person, this person is so loving, when they're just trying to capture you. And
Mm.
then when you want to start asking them question, he used the scripture. He said to me, he said, even God said, thou shalt not judge. Why am I judging him? He said, why am I judging him? So why am I concluding? That
Mm-hmm.
he said. So they are very, very, very clever. Now, sometimes they will want personal information. They want
Mm-hmm.
things like banking details, and they will not ask those banking details directly. They know a way that they will have a conversation with you in such a way that you will give them that banking details, or in such a way that you will make it visible, for them to see. So they will copy things like IDs, passwords, and social security or national insurance information, all of these things. They will be picking these things in course of conversation with you. Gradually, you may not even know it, that they are picking some of these details and they are recording some of these details even without you knowing it. So yeah, there are some of the warning signs.
Yeah.
So
I
they
think
aim like, yeah, yeah, Nelly, you can go on.
no, no, no. I just wanted to say that. Are we going to the next point now?
Yes, we're going to the next point now.
Mm-hmm. Understanding emotional manipulation, the tactics that they use. We have talked
Yes,
about some of the tactics that they use because, like
yes,
loneliness, they know single mothers, they target single mothers. And again, the age bracket that you talked about, was it 40 to 65?
yes,
Yeah, they target that age bracket because they feel, I don't know if it's with the Afro Caribbean or is globally, because they know those who are within that age bracket, they want to get married. And some people say they are desperate. So they know,
yes,
they use the lines of, oh, you are my soulmate, my twin flame. We are meant for each other. Let's get married and things like that. Because they feel that women, or not just women, people within that age bracket from 40 onwards, they want to get married.
Yeah.
And you see how society is contributing to that as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you talk about love bombing. We've already talked about, that love bombing, because that's the quickest tactic, the love bombing, where we talk about they shower you with compliment, just like Nelly said. Even if you're in a relationship where maybe even you and your partner, you're not, communicating and all of that, whether you're in a marriage or not, somebody out there, if they're love bombing you, telling you just what you want to hear, you will start listening to them. So they will love bomb you. They send you text messages, nice sweet text messages. They express their feeling in a very quickly. They talk about future together within days and weeks. So that love bombing, they're just going to be, those type of things, because there's sometimes, like Nelly said, when you get to a certain age and you think you want to settle, in your mind you already know that, what, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I want life to look like. They will capture that and start replaying it in your own eyes. And then when you look at how they are replaying it, you're thinking that, oh my god, this is the person that I was looking for, this is the right person for me. No, they've just taken just what you've said to them and they're replaying it back to you, and you're falling for it. So
Yes.
that is love.
Yeah.
That is love bombing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've talked about the trust, because like initially when you start
Yeah.
with the communication, they ask you questions. You're just giving your information freely without even second thought. And like Peggy
Yes.
has said, you give a lot of your information, your date of birth, your, in short, very personal information, not knowing
Yeah.
that you are giving information for them to use against you.
Yes.
So then, when you are giving those information to you, you are building trust for that person. But then
Mm-hmm.
it is their way of manipulating you to give that information, because they make you feel that you are alive. But
Yes.
they know why they are collecting that information from you, because they know at the end they will use your information for what they want to gain out from yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then another tactic that they use, they create a sense of
Exclusivity.
exclusivity. Exclusivity. That is a create that sense, and it's more like they will make you feel so special, right? Like they'll say things like Nelly said, they'll say like, I've never met you before, you are the only person who understands me. And they come from that victim mindset when they play like, oh, they did this to their ex. This guy, this one that took this money, this one said that he was in a relationship with a lady and he wanted to have child with that lady, and all along that lady lied that she was pregnant, and when she was just lying, and then in the end the lady just took all his money and everything and disappeared into thin air. So you can see that they have a story that they will craft out a nice story to tell you, to make them look good and the other person look bad, and they will tell you that I can tell you have a very good heart. Oh my God, the way you treat your children, it shows that you're a very loving person. I've never seen, I wish my mom was like you. They would just to capture you, so that you can start and let me not lie you, as humans, sometimes our ears likes to hear those type of things. Our ears sometimes our ears love to hear those type of things, because we're just
Mhm.
human. We are human. The days are your emotion. You just want somebody to kind of make you feel like, but again, even if you like to hear that type of thing, when you hear it, be calculating, is this truth, is this coming from the point of truth, or is coming from the point of deceit? And that is where we need to make sure we know the difference and be alert. We need to be alert, otherwise, they're gonna love bomb us into something else.
And
So yeah.
this is where it is essential for us to be able to identify our emotions and be
Yes.
able as well to manage those emotions.
Yes.
Because talking from a single parenting perspective, you do
Mm-hmm.
everything alone.
Yes.
Sometimes you just need someone to talk to. Sometimes you just need someone to listen to you. Sometimes you need someone to give you those compliments.
Mhm.
Because you wake up early in the morning, you are preparing the children for school and all whatnot. Probably you are going to work, you come back, you are tired.
Yeah.
And when you find someone who seems to be there for you, not doing anything but just talking to you, listening to you, you easily fall for it because
Yeah.
that is that emotional gap that you don't have. But
Yeah.
then, why I say we need to develop emotional resilience is don't just throw yourself out there, because sometimes when we present to be very needy, they take advantage.
Yes. That is so
But
true.
when you know how, when you learn to manage your emotions and you start realizing that you are being taken for granted, you can quickly step back,
Yes.
because at that
Yes.
time you'll be in control. Because if not, you will give emotionally your time and give, and at the end, there'll be nothing in return, and then you'll get heartbroken.
Absolutely.
And you know, one
Absolutely.
thing that I just want to add is, because now, I mean, now we're talking of scammers, I feel that it's also got to the extent where there are true lovers out there, they find true love. But again, because of the fear, now you don't know, how do you differentiate if it's true or if it's false? So then you meet with someone who is potentially your partner, or you were
Mhm.
meant to be together, but because of the fear, you are thinking too hard that probably you are another scammer. So it's really, really tricky.
It is. It is
Yeah.
tricky.
But
It
all
is
I
tricky.
feel is, watch out, especially when these scammers, or when you get into a romance and they want it to go really, really fast after some time. I think for
Yeah.
me, that's a big red flag. Watch out for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing is that when they want to create emotional dependency, right? Because the first thing, like Nelly said, our emotion is very important. Once you're emotionally invested in somebody, it's difficult to you to withdraw, and it starts to becloud your judgment. You're only thinking about the love side, the romance side. You're not thinking about common sense, where you know, like clarity, where you can step back and reflect. You're just seeing, but and they will not give you the chance to actually reflect, because every time if they see that you want to take a step back to reflect, that is when they'll even come in more with the love bombing. That's when they'll be sending you constant messages. The first thing in the morning, you, like I said, the first thing in the morning, I get up to a nice a Bible quotation and a nice love, nice a romance line that they've just typed and sent to me. So those type of things, they check you out during the day. Just like Nelly said, sometimes as you just want somebody to know that somebody is there that thinks about you and cares. So they'll text you during the day. They'll become your primary source of emotional support, and then you begin to depend on them, right? You are the person that if you're feeling like, down, you will run to them. So they have actually hook you in. So this is why it's very important that even though you want to go into a relationship, do not forget your close network. Still have your network, because if you don't have your close network, where and Nelly said about identifying first of all your emotions, you need to be able to identify and even control your manage your emotion. Do not be the type of one that you will be like solely rely on them for that emotional support, because they're going to toy with it. So that is why it's very important to make sure that heal. I always say heal first from whatever you've gone through, because if you do not heal, then you're looking for somebody to hang on them emotionally. That's when you'll be taking advantage. I've seen one of my ladies in my support network has gone through this 6 times, 6 good times, and every time once happen, I tell her that, what, just chill. You need to work on yourself. There's a need within you, that need to be met, not by an outside that person. but you need to figure out how to meet that need. Because if you're looking for somebody out there to meet that need, you're going to be falling victim, all the time. So we talk about isolated from trusted voices. Some of these red flags, when these people come again, they will take your time. They will even deprive you from even having time with your children, because this time, the quality time that you would have been spending on your children, that's when they'll say, "Now, you know what, I want to talk to you at a particular time." When they know that you're maybe having a spare time, that is the time that they're going to ring you, right? So the spare time that you used to have to spend with your children, they are now taking up that time. So they are not even giving you the breathing space to spend time with your children. That is a massive red flag, that they're even coming in, even with a controlling attitude. They want to even control you and take you off your kids. I mean, not like take you off your kids. Take that time that you've been spending with your kids. They want to occupy that time. So again, somebody who comes into your life and first of all does not value your relationship with your child or value your time with your children, again, that is a massive red flag.
Yeah,
So yeah,
you've talked about many different points there.
yeah.
When you start a relationship, there's that infatuation stage where
Mm-hmm.
that's where that love bombing comes in, and you are just
Yeah.
your thinking is so clouded, and you're just thinking only of the positive sides. You ignore the red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, boundaries. We need to work on putting healthy boundaries, because sometimes, like Peggy said, these people, because you've told them your program, they will want
Yeah.
to occupy you when you are, say, when you schedule that time to be with your family or with your
Mm-hmm.
children. No, put a boundary there, because
Yes.
your children look up to you. But then, because a lot of people who want to get in a relationship, sometimes they desperately want to get into a relationship because they present to be needy.
Yes.
When you present to be needy, that's a big vulnerability, and that hawks out there that will just pick you up. Because we talk about energy, when you present that needy energy, there are
Mm-hmm.
people out there like the scammers that are also needy. So the
Yeah.
needy energy will match with the needy energy as well. And you think that you are complementary, but you are not. So,
Yeah.
like Peggy said, is to work on yourself, because a lot of what people I've seen, I've heard, what people do is when a relationship ends, a relationship might end like today, and the next day they get into another relationship. And like you talked about your friend that has gone through the cycle 6 times, it's no
Yeah.
surprise. The reason is because they have not taken that time to identify what they are presenting, because the issue is not out there. The issue is with the individual. So if
Yeah.
you take the time to learn what you are projecting out there, you will be able to fix it within yourself
Yes.
and not outside. Because even if you meet a soulmate or you meet a twin flame, that twin flame is not there to complement you.
Yeah.
You are you are pushing each other for growth, because that's all it is about soulmate and twin flame. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just that you be in romantic relationship, it's you push each other to grow, because that's your essence here on earth. But then
Yeah.
people take it differently, people misinterpret it and talk about it in a way that will favor them and not actually what that stands for. So it's all about
Absolutely.
learning.
Absolutely. And another tactic that they use, Nelly, is that sometimes when they come, they will not they will actually be the first person to give you money. There's one other family, one lady that told me that what this guy did was that when he came, first of all, he was actually supportive. Like little things. Maybe he knows that maybe this lady needs like little things, oil, or maybe he goes through the shop. If he's going through the shop, he passes through the shop. He'll do a few food shopping for this lady, and then comes and drop it at home. Maybe like say £10, £20 shopping, those type of little things that he will do. And then Sometimes he will come round, and then you even like, maybe spend some time with the children and those type of thing. But then he started building that trust and that relationship in such a way that when that lady actually trusted her, this man withdrew, I think it was 12,000 pounds from this lady's account with this lady's bank card. Because by that time, he had already found out, known this girl's card and know this girl's pin. And he took that money, he took that card and withdrew money from the account, right? And then that is when he just disappeared in the thin air. That girl did not see him. So again, this type of thing, we said they come gradually. They build that relationship. They make you to trust them. They even make you to even kind of, they'll even take you to the bank and say, you know what, in case of anything, call this person, and they will do all sorts, but be very careful. So we've got a few minutes to already 1 hour, but let's just go through quickly how to protect yourself from these scammers. So again, we'll talk about take relationships slowly. Always take your relationship slowly. Anybody who comes into your life and is rushing and rushing and rushing, hey girl, I know that maybe you are on that line where you just want to settle. I know there are sometimes women out there, oh, I just want to get married, I just want to settle. Hey, yes, I know, but take it slowly. Even when that man comes and is throwing all of those things on the floor, take it slowly. Because again, I always say it's rather to not to get into a relationship that you're going to get down the line. In fact, by the time you know it, you're in pieces, you're crying every day and all of that. Take your time. Take your time. The right person is going to come. Number 2, verify identities through live video calls and independent research. Like I always say, always do your research. What I do now, and I know on my Facebook, if I go on my Facebook Messenger, I've got thousands of messages. What I do is that I always screen, because again, some of them I'm a business person. Some of these messages may be my businesses. There are people who have come we've gained clients like through my messenger. So when I go on my messenger, I always screen. If it is maybe random communication like, hey, Peggy, how are you doing? Or all of that. The first thing I do, I just go on their profile. I just scan their profile. If I scan their profile and I see from the messages that I see from that profile, what they post and all of that, I can tell whether I need to respond to that message or not. If the profile does not actually match what I'm looking for, I don't even respond, So that's how I scan it. Because when you respond, they will start hooking you. They will start gradually hooking you in without you knowing. So the first thing to be on the safe side is not to respond at all. So we talk about be conscious with your personal information. Even if they come in your life and you build a relationship to what extent, do not give your private information until you are 100% sure that that person can be trusted and that you are the person you are moving to somewhere, you've got the future. If you people can spend the future together and that sort of thing. Never send money to someone you have not met or verified. That is a no now for me. Even if you tell me that your who has died, that is it. At least I've learned the hard way that no money. Discuss online relationship with trusted friends or family. And this is a thing that I say sometimes. I know that we love our privacy, but there's sometimes that even you need to find at least somebody that is closer to you. Like Nelly said, Nelly actually shared with her friend. Sometimes it's good because sometimes that love or that romance will just take your head away. In fact, it will cloud your judgment. But if you tell somebody from the outside, the person can see reason. So the person can see it in another direction, another perspective, and they may be able to talk some sense into it, something that you wouldn't have. So it's always good sometimes that find 1 or 2 person and confide in them that this is what is actually happening. Trust your instinct when something feels inconsistent or rushed. And this is one thing that I always say. I think, Nelly, we're going to come one time and just talk on instinct. Because this is something that maybe many people, we have our gut feeling, but we don't use it. We don't use it. Sometimes we ignore it. But that is our gut feeling is like that first safety measure. Is that like that security thing that is there telling us that, hey, be careful. We should never share our children's, because in all of this thing, we need to protect our kids first. Because sometimes we may have teenage children, even young adults. If they don't take advantage of us, they may take advantage of those young adults or those teenagers that are around us. So we need to be careful. We need to protect our children. We
I
should
think,
never share things. Yeah, Nelly.
yeah, I think just there, Peggy. You
Yeah,
know, with this aspect of relationships,
yeah,
sometimes parents, we need to be very, very careful because
yeah,
our children look up to us for protection.
yeah.
Sometimes you see parents, I mean, this one now is from my lens as a social worker,
Yes.
where I have worked on cases where a parent can go, say, for a night out,
Yeah,
gets on, meets someone there, and takes that person home and introduces the children or introduce the person to the children. And then the next morning or the next day, when the alcohol has fled from that person's eyes, the
yeah,
person disappears because they were like, oh, it was a mistake.
yeah,
The following day, the parent brings another partner, a new partner. Imagine, what are these children seeing? What
mm,
are they learning? First, there's no trust, there's no
yes,
consistency because the children don't know if some other mom or dad is coming or going. They don't know how long the one that has come will stay for.
mm-hmm.
Some of them will come and they'll abuse the children. And some will even threaten the children and tell them not to tell anyone because of that fear. So imagine the children will be in their homes living
Yeah,
in fear, not from their parent, but from the people that the parent is bringing home. So we've got to
yeah,
protect our children.
yeah,
If you want to introduce your children to your partner, you need to make sure that you have known that person for some time.
yeah,
If you want to be at the early stages, meet with this person away from your home, not where your children will see this person.
mm-hmm.
When you feel that you can trust this person, and how do you trust this person? Observe whether their actions matches their words,
Mm-hmm.
because many people can say a lot of things, but words don't mean anything. Watch out for their actions. Do
Mm-hmm.
they do what they say they will do? Those are some of the things that you need to watch out for. You need to be questioning. It's not like you're taking note of everything, but mentally in your head, you are doing that. They say you match whether what they are saying is what they are doing.
Yeah,
So it's very important. Let's protect our children. Even do not give, okay, you can say give the first, you can say you have the number of children. You can even give the first names of your children, but you don't need to even show the photos of your children. You don't need to tell them the children's full names, the schools, their date of birth, and all
yes,
things like that. You need to
yeah,
keep that to yourself because you are protecting, or you need to be protecting your children. They are innocent. Anyone out there can take advantage of any child because,
mm-hmm.
like now, we see lots and lots of cases where children as young as 3 months old are being abused by their parents' partner. We've
Mm-hmm.
got to be careful because these days, don't trust anyone. Do not
Yeah,
trust anyone.
absolutely. Absolutely. And when you suspect scamming, and I always say when you suspect, if you know that your gut instinct or something just tells you that something is not right, the thing is that try and if you were sending money, stop sending money immediately. Save the messages and screenshot. Because what they'll do, they will delete it. Before they delete it, you have screenshotted it so that you keep it as your proof. Block the person immediately if you can. Report the account if you can't, right? Whether if it's Facebook, sometimes you can flag it up or report it. Sometimes you can inform your bank, you can call your bank immediately just to kind of block your account or change your password. So you've got to be swift in any action that you need to take and report any scam to the relevant authorities. If it is something stages where you think that you know the person, you've got the person's photo and all of that, report it to the police, you know. So these are some of the things that we just need to take care. I know that we all people want relationship, we want to find love. That should not also put you off from finding love, because just like Nelly said, there are true lovers out there. Your soulmate is out there, genuine one. I don't mean the fake ones. The genuine one is out there, you know. But be careful while you're looking out, or you're searching, or you're hoping, or to find somebody. Be alert, 100% alert. You know, if not, because come to think of it, you're struggling. Maybe your small hard-earned savings that you save, you know, for your children, and somebody just comes and squander that money, take that money off you. Not just that, they hurt your feeling, and then they go and disappear. So that is something that you'll be grappling with, you know, for a few years. So again, we just need to be alert, stay alert, and make sure that we protect ourselves, protect our children, protect our finances, protect our emotion. And the first way of you doing that, just like Nelly said, build a relationship with yourself. Love yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself first, you're going to be looking for needy out there. Whatever thing that you're giving out there, give it to yourself first. In that way, when somebody comes into your life, you will have the time to evaluate it. In fact, you will know straight away, because you will not be easily, your emotion will not be easily tapped, or you're not going to be, you're not going to feel vulnerable, if I put it that way, if that's the right term, or the right way to put it. So work on yourself first. Heal from your previous relationship before you move into another relationship. Yeah. So Nelly, I don't know where I want to round up, say something, and then we
Yeah, we
close.
have said so much, which I'll just be, I'll just give a conclusion here. So we know that love is one of the most deepest and strongest emotions.
Mm-hmm.
We need to work on our emotions. It's not easy. I'll tell you, it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions are, they're very tricky, and it's really, really hard because if you are that kind of person who doesn't cry, and you get in a relationship when you feel that you've given your heart and soul, and that relationship breaks down, you will cry. That's just to show how strong love is. It's the
Mm-hmm.
strongest emotion that exists, but then people take advantage of it. So if you feel that you have got to the stage where you want to get into a relationship, be asking yourself those questions. Are you ready to get into a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
What things are you looking out for in a relationship? What things can you tolerate in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking for a relationship for someone to compliment you? If your answer is yes, then you are not ready to get into a relationship. Because when you are ready and you feel it that you are ready to get into a relationship, whatever energy you are sending out there will come back to you.
Mm.
And like we say, when you find, I mean, there's true love out there.
Yeah.
When you find true love, it will not be like it is in Romeo and Juliet or in books. It is hard. I tell you,
Yeah.
it is hard because there's a runner, there's a chaser, and all whatnot. But it is, but take care of yourself, take care of your children, take care of your family, seek for help, support from your network, and just take care of yourself. Love yourself first
Yeah.
before wanting anyone to love you. If anyone loves you after you've loved yourself, it's a bonus, because whether they do or they don't, you will just love you for who you are.
Yeah. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So thank you so much. Anyone who is watching, I don't know who are they watching.
We have
But
Ngozi Benson.
okay. We've got Rose Favor. Okay, we've got Rose
We've got
Favor.
tourist attractions.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you learned something. I hope you picked something there that you can take home with you. And well, you now as ambassador, you got network, you got people around you. Also educate them. Go and spread the news. Educate them about this because we don't want anybody else to fall into that scam. So thank you for watching. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. In case of anything, drop your comment. If you have any question or have a topic that you want Nelly and I to talk about, please let us know and we will talk about it. Hey, you take care, look after yourself, love yourself like no one else. Love yourself and you'll be fine. All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
See you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.